So, wow, we're getting a lot of calls. Let's go ahead and take them.
All right. Thomas usually has good stuff to say. Thomas!
Hey guys.
Hi.
So I want to talk about two things. First of all, the whole 2012 thing.
Yeah?
I mean, how would just human beings in general know when the world's gonna end? I mean,
That's what I'm
just
saying.
like, especially, how would these ancient civilizations know how the entire civilization is going to collapse and everything?
Unless they were like, like super geniuses and, I don't know, could like see the future. I mean, how would they know?
Well, some
Exactly.
people think that, like,
They're aliens, right?
Yeah, like the people who built the pyramids were aliens that weren't even like
You
Egyptians
know,
or whatever, like
when-
we think of that.
When you think, like, how could the Egyptians have done that? If you've ever been to Egypt and you see how freaking huge those things are, you're like, slaves? Really? Slaves and, rocks and wheels and...
Yeah, like, how could they wheel something that big up a giant pyramid?
I don't know. But
Also,
back to the 2012 thing, what do you think?
I think it's just a bunch of crap, really. I mean, especially for the fact that we're just like these little beings on a rock floating around in space. We can't, especially 2,000 year ago human beings, I'm pretty sure they couldn't figure out what modern science can't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the second thing I wanted to talk about was, sometimes I'm sitting here watching the show, and my brain will just kind of wander, and I'll like be thinking about just something completely random, like walking through the hallways at my school or something.
yeah.
And then the next day I'll wake up, and when I'm walking through that same hallway in school, I like think of that exact moment on the show, and it's just so weird. Like all these weird connections that happen with all these things.
Like the inverse of deja vu, kind of, but it's tied together. It's a
Yeah,
weird-
it's such a weird feeling. And
I
then,
know.
I'm-
I encounter deja vu and kind of almost like the opposite, like before it happens. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes I don't know if I'm just gonna sound crazy here, or you have these moments too. But it isn't that something happened in the past, but sometimes I would just be like sitting in my room or sitting outside or something, and I just get these like sudden weird thoughts, like, "Whoa, this is real."
Yeah.
Like it isn't.
Yeah.
It isn't like a lucid dream where I'm dreaming. It's just like, whoa.
You really...
I'm thinking different than I thought before. This moment is like really real, and
It's like sometimes you're just going around like your daily life doing your stuff or whatever else. But then there's like these tiny moments when you're really like, you like kind of almost look back and you're like, I've been here a million times before, but it feels different now. And like
Yeah.
it feels like, I don't know. What do you think, Thomas?
Is that kind of what you were talking about?
Yeah, kind of. But it's like, I don't know. The best way I can compare it to is like variables in programming, where like one thing equals another, and it can reference to another thing. It's just so weird. Like all these weird. Like I remember the first time this happened to me. It was the first week of. It was just like a month ago or so, and I was like walking up the ramp at my school, and I thought of like a couple of YouTube videos I saw the night before,
Yeah.
and every time I watch that YouTube video now, I see that hallway. It's so weird.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Like things remind you of other certain things and it's all like connected.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's like
it's a really weird feeling.
When you think back to a song that you heard and then you remember like where you were when you heard that song, or if you like went out somewhere and had something like, I don't know, memorable happen, you like, I don't know.
Like
And
things
yeah.
are just associated
Yeah.
with other things. Like whenever, like I don't see a lot of people drinking vitamin water. So except Lola. So if I would see vitamin water in the store, I would think of Lola. And that's a connection that I can make in my brain that makes sense. But sometimes you see this vitamin in water and you look at it weird, but like, have I seen that before? And I can't think, was someone drinking this before? So it's like these tiny little associations that confuse you. The big ones make sense. But I don't know. Maybe that's, some of the moments I have where it's like a moment in reality. But I don't know. I'm just going to stop talking before I sound like any more like a crazy person.
Crazy person?
Now that I think about it, like, this is pretty much the exact same thing I just learned in like biology a week ago. It's like conditioning, where like one feeling is associated with something totally different. So, like, I remember like every time I listen to a certain song, I associate it with a certain feeling at a certain time in my life. It's just
definitely.
really weird.
I mean, that happens to me all the time. I'll be like, I haven't heard this song since I was crying after that guy broke up with me and I had this bottle of wine, blah, 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 next to me. It just brings back, like, a bunch of, like, things that, if you hadn't have heard that song, then you wouldn't have remembered it all.
Yeah, exactly.
Thomas, I got a question for you. When Lola was talking about songs, and maybe since you're kind of an insightful person, I asked Lola this, or at least I think I did, and I can't remember what she answered, but how come when people are sad that they want to listen to sad music? And the other way around.
Misery loves company.
It's like, why do you want to make yourself more depressed? And I just don't understand. Why do you think that is?
I really don't know, but it seems like you want that song to like force the sadness out of you. Like you want to feel like you have company and associate and feel like people have that exact same
have sympathy for you and something to like. This person in this like singing the song might not be singing about the same thing that you're going through, but you're both sharing kind of like, the same emotion, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's that, but I'm not sure of the exact things, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Because when I'm in an upset mood or something, has upset me, I usually if I'm by myself, I'll like listen to some sad music, and I'll like not a complete pity party because I don't like cry and stuff like that, but I like listen to the words and I think about like what I'm going through and stuff like that, and then like when I'm with other people and I'm upset, like I don't know, they like uplift me, I guess. Again, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, thank you for calling.
Yeah,
thanks, Thomas.
Whenever you're like in a bad mood, and I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but do you take comfort in the fact knowing that someone else has gone through the same experience? Or is it, and I know some people are like this, whenever someone, I don't know, goes through a divorce and then another person was like, I know what you're going through. They're like, you don't know what I'm going through. So what is it for you?
I've told you before, like, I think I had a shitty upbringing. Not upbringing, because my mom was awesome and brought me up, obviously. Look at me today, I'm great. But, like, it was kind of bumpy, but I'm definitely not a person to say, like, if someone was to ever be like, oh, I know what you're going through. First of all, if they, like, even if I had, like, a sense that, like, you don't know what I went through, I would never be one of those people to be, like, a big baby and, like, you don't know how I feel and stuff like that. Because everybody goes through their own stuff in life, and everyone has their own problems, and they might not always be the same issues or the same problems, but a lot of the time, people, like, it just cause the same emotions. So, I mean, everyone experiences sadness, everyone experiences anger, everyone experiences happiness. It's not really what the situation was, but I mean, being sad is sad.
Yeah.